self-punishment or self-hatred or self-loathing. And for some people, it could be because it isn't the action itself. You're right. That's a distinction I hadn't thought of. What I was thinking is that people who think they're doing the things that are to be good to themselves, they might be missing a really big boat in how they're talking to themselves, their self-talk, and the things they make themselves do in life. Like if you're working a job you hate, or you're in a relationship that isn't where you're meant to be, self-love is not present.
No.
No matter how many massages you're getting. Hello.
Right. If you're doing self-love either just to get by, the massage, or doing self-love because you want to be different than you are, that's the opposite of self-love. If you are doing something to yourself every day, going to the job you hate, and you're getting a massage every week so that you don't have migraines for the job that you hate, that is the opposite of self-love. I've been there. I know that drill, girlfriend, because I've had that standing appointment.
And those things might give you relief. It doesn't mean they're not good things to do, but you've got to go deeper. Your work is not done here.
But I hear it all the time. You know, self-love sounds like a good idea, and I get that we're supposed to love ourselves. I have absolutely no idea what that actually means. I have actually no idea how to do it because I don't feel it, to which I would say sometimes you got to get your ass in gear and let the feelings follow behind, which sounds particularly anti-LOA. But sometimes you have to treat yourself the way you would treat someone else that you love, like the behavior, the habits, the demonstrating to yourself that you're worthy of that kind of care and tenderness. And the feelings do eventually follow, but sometimes you got to lead that show because you got to get in motion. Just waiting until you love yourself to treat yourself well is probably not going to work. And it's probably not going to yield really good LOA results either.
You know what it seems to me whenever I start talking self-love with my male clients, it's not unusual for them to say, I don't even know what you mean by that. Can you explain? When I talk with women, and I've had a couple women say that too, but a lot of women who especially have spent time, in the self-help section of the bookstore will say, no, yeah, I get it. Self-love, yeah, it's important. Yeah, I feel pretty good about myself, and I think we're good there. They genuinely believe they're like covered here. Could we talk about something else? They want to know the secret to manifesting whatever it is they engaged my services for. This is it. Self-love it's the way there. And I agree with you, Lisa, that very often the best way for us to practice it is to imagine how would we treat someone else. If this isn't something we would do or say or think to or about someone that we love, then don't do it to or think it about your own self. Sometimes that's our best way into it because we know how to love others often. And look, let's be honest. A lot of us, the love we have for the people in our lives is not unconditional. So sometimes our best stand-in might be our dog, our cat. I always use my ex-boyfriend as an example. He loves his golf game. He is so good to his golf. He makes time for it. He invests money in it. He talks about it. He prioritizes it. He invests in it. So sometimes the way we can find our best practice for loving isn't always another person in our life. Sometimes you got to use your cat or your dog. I use my imaginary daughter. I don't have any kids, so I often will say, what would I want for my imaginary daughter if I'm having trouble knowing what the loving thing for myself is? Most people know the answer to that question, so I think that can be a good way into the practice. Because you're right, a lot of us don't. This isn't something we were taught to do when we were little. We were taught we needed to change, to do something different in order to be loved by our parent or teacher or boss.
Mm-hmm. A lot of us were taught even more than that. I mean, a lot of us were taught that, fundamentally that self-love is egotistical, that self-care is selfish, that all of those things, and we're kind of off on a tangent about self-love and self-care, but I think that self-love really is like self-love and worthiness, self-love and worthiness, self-love and worthiness. All of the questions about relationships and jobs and money and everything else fades into the background when you're nailing those things consistently, when you've gotten far enough into the practice that the feelings have started to follow.
Lisa, what would you say is the thing that you practice that contributes to your vibration of self-love most? If you were just going to pick out one thing that makes the biggest difference in your feeling of self-love.
I'm trying to pick the right word. Curating my self-talk.
That's a big one and a good one.
I mean, it took me a while to really grasp this. Like, I stopped, broke the habit. I stopped myself from thinking shitty thoughts about myself. Like, I got that was happening. I got how frequently it was happening. I could see clearly through the multiverse what that was creating in my world, and I just stopped. But for a long time, I didn't replace them with other thoughts that were loving and nurturing and supportive. So it was almost like I quit thinking about myself at all, because, I mean, there was a void of loving energy that did not come in behind breaking that habit, which is why I say curating. I mean, it's not just about breaking the habit of negative self-talk, which is huge, and everybody should do it, but it is about then following up behind that with a collection, a carefully selected collection of artisan, supportive, loving, and nurturing thoughts.
Yeah, I think, again, what have I said this like 4 times? How easy it is for us to not be aware of the way we talk to and about ourselves.
Mm-hmm. What would you say your biggest one is?
Well, I don't know what my biggest one is that contributes to my vibration of love, but the one I've been getting the most bang from the buck for lately, meaning the one that I practice the worst but I'm getting better at, is not making myself do stuff that is not my highest joy. That is turning out to be really, really huge for it. And every time I do it without apology now, I said it today. Someone wanted me to do something, and my answer was, you know what, that's not my highest joy. I'm going to pass on that. And it seemed like a thing that I should do. It kind of seemed like this is under your responsibilities. This is definitely an expectation many people have of you for a very good reason. And yet, it was not my highest joy. And that was reason enough for me to opt out of it. And people, they didn't think some very nice things about me. And I, guess what? I don't care. I don't care. Now, that's not all the time in every situation, but I'm getting so much better at it. So much better.
Yeah. Yeah. That is huge. I mean, when you think about that in terms of a loving act, I mean, that is the way you would treat somebody that you really love. You wouldn't force somebody that you really love to be doing a bunch of stuff that makes them unhappy. That's logical, and yet that's a ninja level skill, girlfriend.
It is ninja
right
level.
there.
I agree. In this culture where we are conditioned to meet others' expectations, and we get it from when we're young. You know, this is how most parents raise their kids. That, you know, the approval comes when your behavior changes. You're either eating your vegetables or doing your homework or making your bed or being nice to your sister. That's when the approval comes, and we learn to ignore what we prefer over what others want for us, and we become experts at satisfying the demands or interests of others. That's to come back from that one. It takes a little practice, especially in a world where our bosses still think they know what we should be doing. Our spouses still think they know what's best for us, which can be, you know, that's a whole other conversation there.
Yeah. All right, final thoughts. We've talked our way through almost an entire hour. What are your final wrap-up law of attraction thoughts on the infinite pursuit of love and relationships in the multiverse?
Look within first. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, yeah, solve your own problems, fill your own needs, meet your own expectations, fulfill your own desires. Start there first, and you will find what you're looking for on the path to taking care of yourself. I mean, it is virtually inevitable that if you're pursuing the things that light you up, that if you're looking within, going there, that you will find that other thing while you're looking. We're so smart. Oh my God,
we're super smart. And if anyone needs any help with that, I would recommend getting a copy of Score Your Soulmate.
Me too. Thank you. I adore you. Thank you. So one more time, where can people want to get in touch with you and connect with your genius?
I'm blogging at goodvibeblog.com.
Also, Good Vibe University, how do they find that?
goodvibeu.com or goodvibeuniversity.com, but I have links to it everywhere. If you go to my Facebook page, if you go to my blog, it's easy to find your way to Good Vibe University, online gathering for conscious creators. Having a lot of fun over there.
By far, without doubt, the best. Talk about curating a collection of things. You have curated the collection of the most awesome, inspired, deliberate creators on the planet.
Agreed.
It is amazing.
They're amazing.
So thank you for being here, my friend.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us.
What if nothing had to change for you to love the body you have right now? Everyone says you need to love yourself, but if you don't know how, self-love feels like a sugary sentiment that doesn't really mean anything. Body Love Bootcamp will teach you the mechanics of self-love. You will learn to treat yourself and your body like you are worthy of love, not later, but now. Loving your body now doesn't mean you've given up on change. It means you're treating your body with the kind of respect that change is made from. So, if you're ready to get off that diet roller coaster thrill ride once and for all, check out Body Love Bootcamp today. www.bodylovebootcamp.com. The body of your dreams just might be the one you have today. www.bodylovebootcamp.com.
Thanks for listening to Love, Life, and Law of Attraction. Tune in next week to learn more about how to find the love of your life and build a life you love.